How's it going, everyone? As you can tell from the title of today's video, I'm going to be doing, and the thumbnail as well, I'm going to be doing some pretty hideous cosmetic mods to the front end of my 2003 Saab 9-3. Now, if you can do any sort of critical thinking, I guess, you can probably tell why I'm going to be doing this, because I mean, just look at the rest of the car. It's pretty hideous cosmetically already. But some big changes for that will be coming to this car pretty soon in the video. I mean, I guess it's going to take a while to have that done. If you look at the car here, you can probably tell why the bumper is going to be getting replaced. As you can see here, this side, I actually replaced this bumper and had it painted about 3 years ago. And these clips ended up getting broken. You can see one of them's broken right there, another of them's broken right there, and this whole corner is just completely destroyed, so it's never really fit in properly. I mean, that's the best it's ever really looked. And you can tell the old bumper used to be laser red because there's red everywhere on it, and it's always been an eyesore and an annoyance to me. On the other side here, you can see there's just like some little parts of laser red. This upper part, for some reason, has never really fit properly. So quite frankly, when I got this bumper from a junkyard, I kind of messed up and thought it was good enough, and that was a mistake on my part 3-4 years ago. But as you can see right here, this side also doesn't fit in properly, and the whole bumper just, it's kind of a mess. As well as the hood, you can see the paint is fading pretty badly right here, as well as all the tar that's on it. Now the tar, I know there's, no matter what I say in the next 30 seconds, someone's still going to comment and say that this tar can be removed. I guarantee you it cannot be removed. It's been on the car since basically it was new, and the previous owner really neglected to do anything about it. So we've tried everything, and the only thing that's going to remove it is excessive sanding, which will result in the hood needing to be repainted anyways. But on top of that, that's not really the big thing. The big thing is there is a dent in it right here. It's probably going to be really hard to see on camera, but you can see this cracking in the paint right here. I'll see if I can get it at a right angle here, but even as I'm looking through the camera here, it's really hard to see that the panel gap is different right in this small section right here. There's also a couple dents. There's one right here and one right here. Of course, the glare is kind of making that hard to see. And there's also a couple more up here, and just a couple more throughout the hood as well. So what I'm doing today is pretty much going to the junkyard, getting a new hood, getting a new bumper for those exact reasons I just listed. I'll be putting the bumper on here when I get back home, but the hood, I can't really transport the hood. It's too wide. So what I'll be doing is actually replacing the hood at the junkyard. So get a good look at it. This is the last time you'll ever see this car with this hideous tar-ridden, dented hood. It's a little bit of a sad moment because it's kind of been a trademark of this car for the 4+ years I've had it. But I guess now it's off to the junkyard, and when I record again, you will see the car with a different colored hood on it. There it is, disgusting as ever. And there goes the old hood, getting our $3 back. Sad to see that thing go, I guess, but now we got to put the bumper in the trunk, and I'll deal with this thing later, I guess, when I get back home. But for now, yeah, interesting look to say the least. So back home, now we can go ahead and take this old bumper off. Now a couple things I want to say here is, one, this thing will not be staying. I've never seen this before, but it says Saab on it, so maybe it's like an OEM like weird thing, I don't know. Secondly, this hood is absolutely filthy, but once I put this bumper on, I'm just going to take the car through a car wash real quick, since I don't really care about the paint, just to clean it up a little bit to see how nice this hood actually is, but I don't see any dents or dings in it outside of whatever that it's like stuck on there. Pretty gross. I mean, I was on the freeway 80 miles an hour the whole way home and that didn't come off, so pretty gross. But before we get distracted, I'm going to take off the old bumper quickly. We're going to swap the aero lip onto this bumper. We're going to take the Swedish plate off of here and leave it off, and we'll put it back on later. And yeah, so let's get started with that. So long story short, the wiring for these, as far as I can tell, is different in the sense that when we did the fog lights on the project sub, which is an 05, we pretty much just have one big connector that sits like right here that you just unplug and it goes for the fog lights, the cornering lights, everything. Now for this car, there is no big connector. So I'm gonna have to do is pretty much, I disconnected all of this. Instead of just disconnecting a big connector, I disconnected this, that, same thing on the other sides, and I'm gonna have to pull off the washer lines as well, so that's what I did right here. And of course it's gonna drain all of my washer fluid out of my reservoir, so yeah, that's, don't know how full that is, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait for that to drain out now, and then we'll pull off the one off of this side. I guess in the meantime what I'm going to do is take off the wiring harnesses for the new bumper because I'm not going to need those. Now if I did this right, I should have gotten everything electrical disconnected from the old bumper and it should all be attached to the lower lips. There we go, so this is our fog light wiring harness and our washer fluid lines. Now I suppose it's time to do the same exact thing on the old Midnight Blue bumper because all those lines are connected to the aero lip down here, so really it's just a process of swapping the lips over, so not too bad at all, honestly. If you can tell, I kind of don't have a ton of room here, so I'm trying to film this where I can. But yeah, new bumper, old bumper. Side note, I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but my initial plan was not to get this bumper. So what I did when I went like 2 days ago, because I was getting like a side skirt for the project Saab and a couple other things, what I got was just these washer nozzles, because like I had mentioned, these had fallen off, but then I decided to go back, get the whole bumper since it's pretty much in perfect shape. And yeah, so I just reinstalled those. There's just a little clip right under here, a little metal clip that slides in, pretty simple. But now let's swap the aero lip onto the new bumper. So now we should be able to pull off the old bumper skin, unless it gets caught on the fender. There we go. Because of how the wiring is on the 03s, how it doesn't just have that one big connector I was talking about earlier, all this is connected. And I mean, obviously this line goes to the tank, which is right here, but this, I'm following it the whole way up here. I don't feel a connector for it anywhere. So really my only option is to just put the bumper on like literally right in front of here. And that doesn't leave me a ton of room, but really my only option. So you can tell which one goes to which, because the one that goes to the side marker is going to be longer because it's up higher, and the shorter one is the fog light. This is off of an 07, not sure if I said that, but that's where this bumper is off of. Alright, so I got the washer line hooked up, I've got both the connectors hooked up, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And before we go any further, I'm stepping over parts everywhere, let's test to make sure these fog lights work. Funny thing, my right fog light was actually out and I was about to replace it. there's a spare bulb right here. So if one of them is out, we're in good shape. Okay, fog lights are on. See, one of them's on right there. And the other one is on as well. Cool. So they both work, which means I now have a spare fog light bulb, but no big deal. So everything is hooked up down here. Weird thing, just since I thought of it, this side has this side I should say, has an actual connector for it right there that is proper, and it clips in and it's gonna stay. This side does not. It just had a hose with a clamp on the end, so I got it on there as far as I could. On the old bumper it was kind of the same setup and it didn't come off, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, let's attach this aero lip now and then we should be ready to put it back on. Bumper is on just enough so it won't fall off, not actually bolted in, and now it should make it easier to put this lip on. So the thing is, because of all the weight that's on it, it just likes to sag down. The weight from the wiring harness, I should say. There we go. That was much easier to do it that way. Now I need to pop the bumper back off. Drop it back down. Now this foam padding here that goes between the crash bar and the bumper, got to slide that back in because it fell out. So this side popped in nice and perfectly flush. First time I've seen that in a long time. Over here though, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it to line up. I gotta see, there might be something stuck inside here. It's gonna look exactly the same. I'm gonna put the 15 bolts holding it on back in and deal with that side over there, and I'll get back to you guys in a minute. These bottom two bolts both have stuff jammed into them, so you can't stick the screwdriver into them. Freaking weird, but okay. So oddly enough, because I'm an idiot and it's 115 out and I'm currently dying of heat exhaustion, I didn't think I still had a bolt up here, but it was not I guess technically an aftermarket bolt, but just one random bolt that I'd found. That was a 10mm instead of an 8mm. Obviously completely wrong bolt, but it was what I had used to at least keep it so it didn't come completely out. So I had left that in there, and that's why it wouldn't go in. So now it's all good. It sits 100% flush like it should, which to most of you is probably no big deal, but to me, it's the first time my bumper has sat like this on both sides in I don't even know how long. But I'm gonna back the car out of the garage now, just so that way we can look at it, and then presumably I will take this thing off. So here is my 0393, now looking much better, I guess structurally would be the word, in the sense that the hood is completely straight, the bumper is not falling off on either side. So if you look, while I was putting the bumper on, I was kind of checking for damage. The only damage that I noticed was right here. There's a really deep cut through the paint that I can probably just sand down quickly. But that's really it. I'm sure that you guys see it all the time on the roads where you live, but now my car looks like one of those cars that's driving around with mismatched color body panels, and it looks like it was just in a crash, but it wasn't in a crash, so yeah, it just looks ugly for now. Alright, well there you have it. Now it looks normal. So I think next step is just take this to get a quick wash. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this video, guys. If you're excited for what's to come with this car in the next month or so, leave a thumbs up down below. Leave a thumbs up down below. Can you tell how exhausted and hot it is. I can't even think straight. Leave a like and leave a comment down below. With that being said, see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.